Hey, good morning. It's Jeff again here at Lee's Commercial Corner, and excited this morning to have Chad here with me. We're going to talk about a few different things this morning, but I think it's going to be fun. His role here is unique to anything we've talked about on this podcast yet. So in a second, we're going to get into that. But first, I want to kind of explain who he is. Chad's had multiple roles here with us. He's served as general manager for a while. He's been very, very involved with operations and our incredible growth the last couple of years. And this last season has seen you kind of move into a different area. And I'll let you go into it a little bit more, working as a director in other areas. But I think we're going to talk today a little bit about acquisitions and who Lee's Air is in the community. Exactly. Are we local? Are we not local? Do we have multiple sites? Do we have one site? I'd like to kind of tie that all together today, and because it's kind of a loose conversation from what I hear from people out in the field, because the growth has been so outrageous that a lot of people have speculated wrongly, in my opinion, about why we are who we are today. So, Chad, I'd like you to take a few minutes, just kind of briefly fill me in on who you are, and then we'll get into talking about that subject.
Yeah, I love it. So as you mentioned, Jeff, I mean it is a relatively unique role, and I've had the privilege of being able to serve the company in a couple different roles. Most recently, I'm in the Director of Human Resources role.
Okay.
I became very intimately familiar with Lee's and who they are and who we are from the previous roles, but really, I've had the unique opportunity now to sort of introduce Lee's to new employees, right? And in that, I myself have even learned a few new things as well.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, the message remains consistent, and that is that our mission is to serve people, our customers, our coworkers, and our community, and to have fun doing it.
Yeah.
Lee's today, as it stands today, 2024 in July, we are still a privately held company, and that's one of the things that makes us unique. So it's not part of a larger conglomerate. We've stayed true to our mission from the get-go, and really, are there additional locations? Are there other areas that we service? Absolutely, and it's for the purpose of furthering our mission.
Sure. Do you feel comfortable talking about that a little bit?
Of course.
Talk about some of those other locations and why they're there, and how we strategically go to market with our product in those other areas as well.
Of course. So you're aware, I'm aware, we have a fairly robust operation up in Northern California in Loomis. Loomis is sort of a bedroom community to Sacramento.
Okay.
Offering the same products, same service lines that Fresno's offered since 1981 in air conditioning, plumbing, roofing. So, and we have great leadership up there. We have a great group of individuals that have really lived out the mission for that location. So Loomis is absolutely doing well. It's absolutely thriving, maybe to a little bit of a lesser scale than what Fresno is.
Yes.
But nonetheless, Fresno, as everyone knows, is doing very, very well. And most recently, actually, we've expanded into Visalia, the Visalia market. We've had the unique opportunity to partner with another organization out of Visalia known as Comfort Now. And, we've since incorporated that under our umbrella, at least.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And I know this isn't the end either. I know there's other markets that we're, strategically going to be moving into, but remaining home base headquarters, which is important, I think, to point out, is here in Fresno.
And we're talking about operational locations, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about operational locations that people report to every single day. But what we're negating is we have a school, man. We have a school here in Fresno outside of the confines of the building that you and I are sitting in right now. And that speaks to what I mentioned earlier, sort of the mission. I mean, how do we serve our coworkers, right? How do we serve our community? The way we serve our community is to put the most qualified, best stewards of the community out there doing the services that people need, HVAC services.
Right.
It's one thing to hire a really good HVAC technician. It's a whole nother ballgame when you're able to hire good people to do the job and then ultimately train them. to do a wonderful job for the people of our community.
Sure. I think I'm going to jump in here and just say this really quick. A lot of people might not be aware of the fact that there's a particular reason why there aren't air conditioning franchises out there like there are in a lot of other industries, because everything we do for the most part is outside of our building. You go to McDonald's, everything's in the same place. Air conditioning is completely different climates, different markets wherever we go. But I really like the school that you mentioned. I'm going to talk about that for a second. The idea that every time we move into a new market, we bring everybody here and have them work side by side with us here in Fresno to understand exactly how we operate in serving people, each other in the community. And then they take that mentality back to that area with them. And then we're able to, franchise, no. Be the Lee's brand in other markets, yes, and it's not easy to do it all.
And there's a demand for it,
and
right?
There is a demand.
There's a demand for a company like Lee's to come into virtually any market, right? To provide quality services and have quality people doing the services. Who doesn't want that, right? I mean, it's always sort of a tug of war between the consumer and this other organization that's literally being dispatched to your house, the most intimate portion of your life, to do air conditioning work or to do plumbing work, right? How do you know what kind of person this? You've never met these people before. We pride ourselves on finding good people.
Yes, we do.
To do the work that people need, right? It's good people first. That's why the school exists. We hire for the intangible. We hire for the personality. We hire good people, good stewards, good pillars of the community, and then make them the best HVAC technicians, make them the best roofing people, the best plumbers in the Central Valley has seen.
Great segue question. So let me ask you this. Absolutely, we need the best people.
Yep.
And you know me, I'm always asking you to help me find more people. Every department is asking, hey, HR, help us find new people. So how are you going to find that? What are you going to do to find me that perfect guy that I need today?
It's a great question. And so here's the thing. You're not going to like my answer.
Okay.
Because I'm going to be steadfast and say, hey, we're not going to open the floodgates and hire half of whatever community that we're in. Like, we're not going to hire half of Fresno, because the reality is the standards for becoming a Lee's employee, for representing the brand, are incredibly high.
Yes.
We're going to be very, very selective about the people that we choose to bring on board. Once when they're on board, they are family, right? They're ride or die for the rest of their life, right? Like, hopefully.
We're going to take care of them.
We're going to take care of them, man. It's literally baked into our mission, serve our coworkers, right? But that said, the onus is on us on the front side to be able to identify those people and be very selective about who we bring in. Are there pain points in that?
Yes.
Yes. Because again, we're going to be very selective. And now, I mean, obviously there's things that we do. I mean, we post ads on various we have various campaigns going out when we are hiring for.
Well, I think we have 5 of them out there right now.
It might actually be a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. At any given time, it's at least 5, right? And here we are in the middle of summer. Guess what it was going into summer? Guess what it was in June? It was like 12, right? Yeah. And people are pulling their hair out. It's like, summer's coming. What are we gonna do? People, the sky's gonna fall. But what I admire about people like you and other people, other members of leadership inside of this organization, is they see the bigger picture, and that is, hey, it's not about staffing a position; it's getting the right staff for the position.
It's adding a family member.
Yeah, it is.
So we're vetting out somebody that's going to be, spending a big part of every day with us, and so it's important. And I take pride in the fact that, as I walk through our building, I mean, it's incredible the amount of quality people we've been able to round up for this one mission. Yeah. And it's exciting. I don't know if people out there know that, we're approaching or at, 200 people already here. Yeah. I remember when I started, it was a big deal because they were, I was the 11th person added to the team.
You're employee number 11. That's
employee
literally
number 11. Employee number 11.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's been quite an honor to watch this progression. Yeah. And it has been a steady climb up. Yeah. It has. I don't think anybody's surprised by it, but it is exciting and kind of awe-striking sometimes to see, all of the vehicles and all the people and the infrastructure and all of the different things that we've had to create
Yeah.
A lot of it we've had to create, and a lot
Yeah.
of it we've had to build within our structure to reach the point we are today. So I do appreciate everything that you do there. So I know I guess we can never be too free with this, but are you guys looking at maybe other markets?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
there's a considerable amount of research that has to be done, right?
Mhm.
I mean, is this a market that's viable for us to expand into? What's the population look like? All these different things. But ultimately, my personal belief is that every market could benefit from a lease going into their
Absolutely.
specific market. That doesn't answer the question as to whether or not the market can support lease. Does that make sense?
Sure it does.
So, like I said, we have made the decision to penetrate into the northern market in the form of the Loomis operation. Fresno is obviously well established. Visalia is the latest. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, if the question is, are there additional markets that we're looking at? Absolutely.
Yeah, I will point out that in our commercial endeavor here, we've gotten some customers that have asked us, "Hey, can you help us in this community? Can you help us in this city? Can you help us in this city?" So we've had to really strategically work on finding new areas because those relationships necessitated. Is that a word?
Necessitated.
Necessitated.
You left an eye out there.
That we do this. So it was not born out of any other reason other than serving people.
Yeah.
Which is always what everything tends to roll back to here underneath the Lee's product offering and our mission statement. So
Absolutely.
So tell me, how much of a change was it to go from operations into the HR world?
Yeah. So I'm just going to be honest. It was a big change.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
that was a loaded question.
Yeah. It's how long do we have? It was a big change.
Yeah.
Right. But it has allowed me to focus on things that maybe I didn't have as much knowledge about before. Right.
Well, California's a bit litigious and all of that stuff. The insurance
that may be the understatement of the day.
Yeah.
It's very much a role where you're evaluating exposures, I think is the best way to put it, and just trying to position leads to the best of our ability to ultimately be successful.
Right.
I'm still very active in things like policy setting, forward trajectory of the organization. And that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's for me, it's the best way to serve the organization, right? And that's what I'm happy to do.
So what's next?
It's exciting. It really is. And again, you're aware of this. Maybe some of the listeners are not, but we're really excited about this roofing opportunity that we recently.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah. This is something that's very much in its infancy. And you've been here since, for a while. So you've seen different offerings come and go under the Lee's flagship.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately what has stuck to this day has been plumbing and HVAC, right? Turns out it's really hot in the Central Valley and people need quality air conditioner technicians.
And clean water is important.
Clean water, yeah. People, that's kind of a big deal to people as well. Turns out roofing is also a big deal as well.
Most people have a roof.
Most people. So that's really, really exciting. Regardless of the product offering, though, I'm just going to keep coming back to this. As long as we're running it through the lens of our mission, it will ultimately be successful. Because my personal belief is that the truer you are to our mission in serving people, the higher likelihood is that this segment of our business is going to be successful.
Yeah, I'm going to go take it back.
And it doesn't matter if it's roofs or windows or anything else.
You said something that triggered this thought here. Even back in the infancy of this company, when they were smaller and just doing commercial, one thing has stuck through, and it will continue to, is our brand and who we are as a company. As far as the permitting process and the insurance processes and doing everything correctly in the state of California is not an easy thing. And I will say I did come from a company that didn't have as staunch of a protection of those things. And I know there are a lot of other companies out there that, be quite honest, it's difficult to stay completely
Yeah, here's the thing. I know exactly what you're saying, and I don't want to put you. Yeah, I don't want you to expose any more. Of what
I think I was going in the wrong direction with that anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: the temptation is so great. Imagine a world. So Lee's has been around since 1981, right? So it's been around for more than a little bit of time. So imagine a world though where you're starting an organization that was founded in 2024, and you're trying to make ends meet. And maybe you don't necessarily have the same philosophy that Lee's has. It's like, hey, I need HVAC technicians, right?
Today.
Right
now.
Right. Like all this other stuff that we're talking about, that doesn't necessarily apply. Maybe we're getting the best members of the community. Maybe we're not, whatever. The temptation becomes so great to start cutting corners. Usually that manifests in things like the permitting process, right? It manifests in saying that, yeah, that'll do. In the interview process, right? It's like, should we run a background check on this? Oh, that'll do, right? The temptation is great to do that.
Absolutely.
But when you're in the game for longevity, like I said, we've been around since 1981. You're not around for 43 years making those types of decisions. You're just not. From the get-go, this has been something that we've prided ourselves on. And ultimately, if you are starting a business for its longevity, you have to bite the bullet, man. You have to set the standard day one, and you have to live by that standard every single day. So,
yeah. So that's probably why I think your orientation sessions now have turned into a full day. Yeah. Where I don't recall in the past that orientation.
We have more people in the orientation side. I think it was like you and maybe. One other person, maybe during
Tom Howard.
Tom Howard, maybe employees number 3 and 4 or whatever, right? But today, maybe instead of having 2 people in, maybe we have 12, right? That's 12 different perspectives on whatever is coming out of Chad's mouth, right?
Sure.
And 12 different lines of questioning about every different benefit and everything else, and that's totally cool. We want to make sure that. New employees have clarity when they leave the orientation room.
Right. With the sensational growth we've had over the last 10 years, we've had to, now we're putting people on full-time warehouse.
Yeah.
There's an entire crew.
Yeah. There's like an entire department, right? I mean, I don't know if you've walked through the warehouse lately, but
and then there's quite a few people in our CSR room now too, as well. There's dozens of people working in that endeavor.
Just in Fresno.
That's
Fresno. Not including Visalia and Loomis. Yeah.
And then, I think at any given day, we probably have 50, 75 installers out there. And, and then there's, now we move into service technicians, and maybe we have 50.
And plumbers.
And then we have a whole bunch of plumbers, because they sit in the same office I do. I know how many plumbers we have. Sometimes they're all in there at the same time, and it's pretty crazy. But so keeping track of all of that, keeping them in a vehicle is, we've already talked to James about that. Just the vehicle part alone is
we have an asset and procurement department. We don't have a guy, we have a department.
Because everybody needs uniforms, and everybody needs the right tools. Being a paperless company is probably one of the toughest things that mountains we had to climb.
Yeah.
Going from a lot of people that were, we've had people that have been here for a long time, and everybody, including myself, I was used to doing it all a certain way. Yeah. And we went paperless a while back, but what we have learned is once we got over that curve, and I know you're involved with that as well, we can really serve the customers quickly by being completely paperless, and that's a whole nother department in itself as well.
Yeah, imagine a world where you have Lee's at its current size, and you're not paperless. Imagine what that stock room looks like, what that storeroom looks like when you open it and there's an ocean of file cabinets.
I just went back to 2005 in my mind. I saw it.
2005, yeah. Even before that too. But yeah, it's definitely the right thing to do. It's serving all three, right? It's serving your customers, coworkers, and community, right? Like your coworkers don't want to come in and have a desk that has a 3-foot tall pile of paper. You know what I mean? We're sitting here looking at a desk. I can actually see outside of the magazine. I could see the desk. That wouldn't be the case if we had the size that we have today and we were not paperless. God forbid. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to have to let Chad get back to his duties. So I want to thank him for being on here. But I want to recap really quick by saying he did say a couple important things. Fresno, we've been here since the beginning. We're going to stay. We're still a local company, and we're still ready to serve you. So Let us know if we can help you. Chad, thanks again for coming on and talking
Pleasure
this
is
morning.
mine. Thank you.
Hopefully we'll have you back soon, and
Yeah.
probably have a different role by then. But we'll have you back. You're valuable, so we can move you around a little bit, kind of like a utility infielder. So thanks again, and everybody out there, if we can help you, give us a call. Have a great day.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah,
Take care.
you bet.